Welcome to How to Learn Hebrew the Easy Way. This is lesson number 1 on our fast track course. And the reason it's called the fast track course is because we cover more letters than in my other course. We cover about 5 letters per session or per lesson, and sometimes we do vowels. And if you want to go a little bit slower, then you need to take the other course, which is the 1 per session course. And that one will take you about 1 letter per lesson. And we also obviously cover vowels, 1 per session, or sometimes we cover a couple of vowels per session. They run about 6 minutes per video. So it's going to be a little bit easier for those people that do not have a lot of time. Okay, what is it that you need for this course? Some paper, a spiral bound notebook is probably the best that you can have, because that way everything stays together. You also need a pen or a pencil or some type of writing instrument. If you want to have a quill also, that works, or anything that you feel comfortable writing with. And you also need your brain. Ooh, pretty brain. It's not going to require you to do a lot of review. You just need about probably 5 to 7 minutes of review per day, and you're going to take one course at about 5 to 7 days. Every 5 to 7 days, another lesson should be done. And that's so that you can give yourself a chance to practice, and also you can give yourself a chance to absorb the information. Other than that, welcome again to the course. Let's begin with our first letter. Our first letter is going to be called Aleph. Aleph. Now you can write Aleph like this, or you can write Aleph like this, as long as you have the name correct. And the Aleph, we're going to say that it sounds like an A. We're going to match it up to the A. But in reality, the Aleph has no sound. It has no sound. It doesn't really have an A sound, just for our purposes now. And you're going to see why later on. I will explain it later on. But just for our purposes, we're going to say that it's the sound of the A. We have to start somewhere. And I want you, before we actually draw the Aleph, that you have an understanding of the orientation, or where our letters are going to orient toward. And I want you to imagine, that when you're writing a letter, it's kind of in a box, right? And most of our letters are going to begin on the top left-hand corner. Okay? And when we do the Aleph, we're going to do it again, beginning or orienting toward the top left-hand corner. We're going to do a diagonal line. And then what we're going to do is we're going to match up both sides, or the lines that we're going to drop, with these ends. And what I mean by that is I'm going to take a line and go in about 1/4 of the letter, right? I'm going to redo this, and you should just be watching. Just watch. And go down, okay? And then about 1/4 of the letter in, or 1/4 of that base, and go down again. Okay, now you understand what I mean by it's going to line up with this, and it's going to line up with this. I'm going to redo this, We're going to make it a lot cleaner. Okay, so Aleph. Aleph. Just watching, just watch. Aleph. Aleph is going to be like this. There's your Aleph. Okay, let's practice. Get your notebook out, pen and paper, or pencil and paper. And if you have lined paper, which you don't have to if you don't want to, imagine the box, come down like this, and there's your Aleph. Don't worry if it doesn't look perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for you to learn the letter. And each time you write a letter, say the name. Aleph. Aleph. Why are we saying the name? Because we want your brain to associate the sound of the letter with the letter itself and how it looks, I want you to say it and hear it, and you're writing it, and all of that. We're using, the more senses we use, the more it's going to go inside the brain. This should be connected. Sometimes it doesn't connect. Okay, Aleph. Okay, spend another few seconds writing an Aleph. It doesn't have to go fast. You don't have to do it quickly. I'm just doing it this way now because I'm going along with you, but take your time when you do this. Okay, that's Aleph. Okay? All right. We're going to move on to the next letter. And we'll come back to it today. Don't worry. The next letter that we're going to learn is the Bet. Bet. Now, if you're Ashkenaz or of European descent, Bays. We're going to say Bet because I'm Sephardic, Mediterranean, or Spanish, from Spain. Turkey, Spain, those places. Morocco, also Sephardic. But Bet. Okay? And it has the sound of B. B. Just like a B. Same sound as a B. And here's how you write the Bet. Let's switch the color up. Oh, nice. Check this out. Okay, we're going to go from the top left-hand corner, drag it across. We're going to make a 90-degree turn down. Then we're going to do the following. We can do it one of two ways. Either from the back of the letter, we do like a little heel, and then we drag it across to be parallel with the beginning, and then you put a dot in the middle. That is the Bet. Or the other way, if you like the other way, we can do it like this and go the opposite way and then go up and then put the dot in. Okay, that's another possibility. Can you do it another way, Israel? Yes, you can. Now, you should just be watching now. No writing. No writing yet. You can also do it like this and then do this. I don't really like doing it that way because it doesn't come out well, and then put your dot in. I particularly like doing it this way and then going like that. Okay, we're going to practice in a few moments, okay? Okay, so with your pen, your writing instrument, and paper, we're going to write Bet, classify it, and let's do a few. I'm going to do both. See, I like doing it like that. I think it comes out nicer. That's a Bet. Or you can do it like this. Still comes out well. And it depends on you. How do you like to do it? You'll figure that out as you go along. Bet. Say it. Bet. That way your brain is associating the sound with the way it looks when you're writing it. It should not have this little thing over here. That's just my pen. I apologize. I don't know why it drags down a little bit. Bet. Bet. Spend a few more moments writing a Bet. By the way, in Hebrew, the Bet is a house. Bet. Bet Yosef. Okay? Or also Bayit. 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 Okay, spend another few seconds. And there's my beautiful house. Okay, Bet. There you go. Beautiful. Easy. We have Aleph. And we have Bet. Now, in Hebrew, there are some letters that will branch off into other letters. You've already learned the Bet. The Bet has a B sound. Also in Hebrew, in this particular letter, with the Bet, you also have the next letter, which is vet. And the vet has a V sound, a V sound, just like a V. I know we're not going in the order of the English alphabet, but that doesn't matter. Remember, this is Hebrew. And the way that you do a vet is just like the bet. It's just like the bet, but guess what? There's no dot in the middle. Okay? So that's the vet. This is the bet. Okay, this is the bet. And this over here is the vet. No dot, vet, dot, bet. Now here's something that you should know, and don't write anything yet. You're just listening at this moment. In general, with these Hebrew letters that have dots in them, the specific ones that have dots in them, there's several of them. You're going to find that the ones with, if you want to write this down, you can write this down. The ones with the dot, the letters with the dot, they have a shorter sound. And the ones without the dot have a longer sound. Okay? If it has a dot, it has a shorter sound. If it's got no dot, it has a longer sound. We're going to find out those other letters that are similar to that. But what I mean over here is this one has a dot. The bet, it has a B sound. Okay, it's cut off. B. And then you have the vet, which is a longer sound. V. Okay, you see how it's longer? Okay, so dot, shorter sound, no dot, longer sound. Don't worry about it. You're going to learn it. Let's practice the vet. But I already did the bet. Doesn't matter. Practice the vet with me. This is a different letter. Vet. Write the name. Vet. You can do it however you like. No dot. Okay? Vet. Vet. No dot. Longer sound. Vet. Write a few of them. Just a few. We're going to move on to the next letter in just a few moments. Oopsie. Wasn't parallel, okay? There you go. Vet. 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 Corvette. In Hebrew, Corvette, maybe. Probably. Okay? That's the vet. So, now we have Aleph, Bet, Vet. We're going to move on to the next one. Okay, we're going to do... The next letter is called the Gimel. Gimel. Okay? The Gimel has a G sound, just like a G. G. The beginning of the word is going to indicate to you which sound it has for the most part, right? Except for the Aleph, because it doesn't really have a sound. Okay, and the Gimel is written this way. The Gimel, remember we talked about the box. Well, we're not going to go on the top left-hand corner of the box. We're going to go inward about a third of the top of the roof of that box. So we're going to go across like this. We're going to go 90 degrees, just like the vet or bet, and then we're going to give it a leg. Okay? That's your Gimel. That's your Gimel. Do it again. Just watch. Across. Down. A little bit bigger, right? That's your leg. Like it's gonna kick something. Gonna kick a football or something. Okay? Gimel. One more time. Across. Down. A bit of a leg. I know that this one has a curve. This one has a curve and this one doesn't have a curve. Don't worry about that. Okay? You want to do it with a curve or without a curve, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you're going to see fonts that have curves and that don't have curves. And as long as you can get the gist of that letter of the Gimel. Okay, so go ahead and write Gimel. And now say it. Gimel. It's supposed to connect. Sorry. Gimel. 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 Take your time. Take your time. Sorry about that. Take your time. Gimel. 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 Spend a few more seconds doing the Gimel. What word do we have with Gimel? This is a challenge for me as you're writing that. Gamal. Gamal. Gamal is a camel. Camel. I am not an artist. That is not a camel. I don't know. A hump. Okay, so a gamal is a camel. It starts with gimel. Okay, gimel. There you go. Gimel. Sound of a g, like a G. Okay? Okay. Next letter. And just like that, it's gone. We're going to do 2 more letters. Okay, you ready for this? Next letter that we're going to do is called the Dalet. Dalet. Dalet has the sound of a D, a D. I start off with the sound because it's not a D, as you already know. And the Dalet is a simple letter to make, pretty simple. It's just 2 lines. How do we make the Dalet? Start from the left-hand corner, top, go up. I want my other pen. Go across, and come in about a third of the way and go down. Okay? You can go straight down. You can have a little bit of a slant. I like a little bit of a slant, like very slightly. Dalet. Dalet. You may hear some people say Daleth. Daleth. Oops. Daleth. There are like differing opinions on how you should say certain letters, but we're going to concern ourselves how most people see this letter, the Dalet. Dalet. So it's just going to be Dalet for us. Okay? Just going to be Dalet. Okay, let's practice. Let's practice and sound out, please. Dalet. Make sure you write it. Dalet. Go across, come in about a third of the letter and go down. Cross, come in about a third of the letter and go down. And it doesn't have that little... Now, what's identifying about the Dalet, because there are other letters that are round, is that the fact that the Dalet has 2 things. Number 1, it's got that 90 degree there, and it also comes out just a little bit. Okay? Very important, because you're going to see other letters that kind of look similar to the Dalet, and I don't want you to get confused. Dalet. Oh, why do I keep dragging my pen? I don't know. So annoying. Okay, there we go. I'm getting better at this. Dalet. Say it out loud. Dalet. A few more. Dalet. Dalet and Delet are synonymous with each other. A Delet is a door. Okay, that's a Delet. Delet is a door in Hebrew. Okay, fun fact. Okay, that's Dalet. Dalet. We're going to do one more letter, friends. Before we do that letter, let's review. Let's review. What letter is this? Wait for it. Bet. Correct. this one, Aleph, this one, Gimel, and we just learned this one, Dalet. Now what if I do this? Zip, no dot in the middle, Vet. Aleph, Bet. Oh, you can't see what I'm pointing at. Aleph, Bet, Vet, Gimel, Dalet. Last letter. Here we go. Almost done. Okay. This last letter is going to be what you say to your friend. And what do you say to your friend? Hey, how are you? Hey. Okay. This has a h sound. H. Like an H. Ha. Ha ha. Okay. Hey. Trying to get you to remember. And the hey is written like this. It is like kind of like a bit, right? But we have this little extra piece that does not connect here. Oops, sorry. This little extra piece that does not connect here, okay? So, again, the hey is going to be like this, down 90 degrees, and then it's not a square. And just that little piece. Hey. Just watch. Very simple. Okay? Pretty. Okay. Let's practice the hey, the last letter. Write the name so you don't forget. Hey, how are you? Hey. It could also be like hey, like for horses. But I think most people just write it with an E. I'll write a few of those. Almost done, guys. You are going to be reading Hebrew like a champ. Hey. Beauty. Okay, there's your hey. That's it. That's all the letters that we're going to learn today. Now, you're going to practice 5 to 7 minutes a day. Make sure that you practice 5 to 7 minutes a day. You don't have to practice for a long time. Take each letter, say the name, write a line of an aleph, 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 and then you do bet, 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 and then you do vet. Make sure you write the vet also. Do it because it's going to help to put that in your head, because later on, when you see the text, you're going to say, what is it? Which is the one with the dot and without the dot? I want you to remember. And then you have Gimel and Dalet and Hey. Okay, that's it for today. Fantastic job. Now, we did a lot of letters, so obviously you need to practice this. It's better to get a little bit of practice every day than to cram it all in one session. So my suggestion is, and I highly, highly suggest you do it this way, 5 to 7 minutes of practice per day. And you're also going to come back to another video in about 5 to 7 days. Now, if you have a phenomenal memory, then come back in 3 days, come back in 2 days. If you have a photographic memory, then just go through each video right now, and then you can just have it. But otherwise, these suggestions are good, and do it at your own pace. You know yourself better than I do. I will always say that if you liked this video, then please like it, subscribe, and share the video so that everybody else in the entire world can learn how to read Hebrew, and you're doing the humanity a service. That is a joke, of course. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Shalom.